SwissBorg is the official partner of my channel where you can buy, sell, hold and more importantly stake your cryptocurrencies. You can even earn yield on your stablecoins. Sign up with my link and you'll earn up to $100 worth of their native token CHSB just for depositing €50 worth of crypto. SwissBorg. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's see if I can get through this video without rambling too much. So here's Bitcoin on the weekly. Someone told you it was going to do a V-shaped recovery. I can't remember who it was. Yeah, it was me. It was me. I told you. In fairness, I did think it was going to do it from a 200 exponential moving average, but it ended up doing it from a simple moving average. Same situation though, really. There's your golden cross on exponentials. There's your golden cross on simples. There's your 200 exponential. Right there. There's your 200 simple. There's your V-shaped recovery. Why, thank you very much. It was more or less the same setup as some of these other bad boys that we had over here. This is your Euro. Again, someone told you it was going to move all the way up. Then someone told you it was going to move all the way down to a 200 exponential. Then someone told you it was going to move up and do a video. It was me. I told you that. Same setup as Bitcoin and same setup as gold. I don't know who told you about this one. We're going all the way up and then coming down. It was me. V-shaped recovery. There you go. Lovely. Right, so that's enough of that. Moving exactly as expected, as Carl from the Moon would say. It's not all exactly as expected. The S&P has broken down below this first area of support, being the 39,000, back down to the 38,000. Not 38,000, 3,800. It's a bit of a messy area to try longs from around here, but we've got CPI and PPI coming out at the moment. Today, I believe, today and tomorrow. So those figures, according to what's his face, Mr. Biden, he says, "Oh, don't worry, it's all going to be fine. It's going to be good." And he's already said it was going to be good last week, which is a ridiculous thing to say. So if you're going to take him on face value, then he knows something that we don't. Stupid, ridiculous thing to say, but that's what he said. So if that's the case, then maybe we're going to see some moves or some relief in the market. These markets, well, say stocks, especially stocks, banking stocks, and then major indices have not seen any relief. Whereas gold and, well, obviously the euro and Bitcoin especially has seen relief. The stocks haven't. And I think that they need some actual proper reassurance, don't they? They need to. They're not willing to go by a hunch at the moment right now. They're selling off because of the state of the banks. They're pricing in a collapse, it would appear. I mean, a lot of the banks have been taken out of the Nasdaq and things like that, so you're not seeing dramatic crashing horrendous moves yet. Not in comparison to if you just look at individual banks, for instance, they are down massively. So these indices are being propped up by the stocks that are coming down, but not to the same extent as banks. So what we're looking at and what we're thinking is that if CPI and PPI come through favourable, then okay, that's something. But what we really want to hear, or what the indices and stocks really want to hear, is that the Fed are not going to do 50 basis points, and that the Fed are going to either do 25, or they're even going to pause, or maybe even lower rates, which I find unreasonable. Now, just before I start rambling, a tiny little piece of information is that if the Federal Reserve do decide to pause, it's not like a turning around or anything like that. It's not a reversal in their policy. There was a chance they probably would have done this anyway. What they should think about is that they can hold their hands up and say, "Look, we've done a fair bit already. We did lower rates ridiculously to stimulate the economy back in 2020, but inflation probably would have come down more if it wasn't for geopolitical events, right? There's a lot going on in this world to raise the price of food and fuel. There's reasons for that aren't our fault, all right? So we're going to hold our hands up and say, okay, we've brought down inflation by about 50%, which is better than nothing. We're not prepared to continue to raise rates much more dramatically because we're kind of unfortunately not in control of these things that are living outside of our realm. Obviously I'm talking about Russia, I'm talking about China, I'm talking about all the stuff going on that's just going to increase inflation generally for everybody. So they should just accept that and admit that, because there's truth in that. There's blame for all around, so they've done their bit. But we'll see where they go from here. There's probably a lot of pressure on them now with the banks coming down to actually stop
their current trajectory of raising of rates so dramatically, right? 6% inflation, I think, is what they've got over in the States at the moment. Look, I can't speak for everyone, but we could only dream of that over here in the UK. That is the dream. And look, for the vast majority, I imagine you'll be able to live with 6% inflation. You can probably live with that for the moment. Right. Anyway, that is all I can say about that. Right, so let's have a look at Bitcoin specifically, where we go for today. So it was a nice daily closure, basically above all these major moving averages on the daily, and actually more or less tried to reclaim the previous high, which is just above 25,000. Now, if we go to a weekly where the resistance really was pretty clear, the last 2 times we made those highs on the weeklies, and draw a nice skinny blue line there for no reason at all. So 200 simple moving average here, so this is your 200 weekly. That's where the rejections really kicked into fashion here. Bang and a bang here. And so we'll be looking maybe for that to get tagged, which is 25,350, give or take. And if we reclaim that, that's when things get really interesting and we do hit that 32, maybe even to the 38. And it's at that stage where I'd really feel as though we're going to consolidate for a longer period of time. Like a real consolidation, and then you'll be subject to whatever mess takes place within the trading world. You know, do the banks go down? Do the banks not go down? You know, what happens next? And while in a consolidation, it's going to be more dramatic, just like this bear market was when the raising of rates and all this. So it was a bear market of its own doing, and then kicking down the stairs by Omicron, which was fine. So we got out. I got out in the 50,000s. About a third of my crypto I sold at that, just in case. And again, yeah, we were consolidating anyway, but black swans and other things kick in and they force you down the stairs harder and harder. So if we're consolidating from any one of these levels for what, 2 to 6 months, then yeah, you'd be a little worried about anything that happens on the world stage, right? So yeah, that's where that looks like this current stage now where we're going. So we're going to the 200 weekly, which is only a little bit further up from where we've already been today, and then breaking up from there, and then we really do sort of continue with a parabolic move similar to the last bull market, something like this. And I've said that this is similar in sentiment to where we are right now. So we'll be looking for this and then probably looking for something like this. Forget this bit here. Let's just imagine that this went up slowly but surely. Right, so that would be it for Bitcoin. Again, I'm doing a Patreon live stream tonight if you want to join that. There's links in the description below. Last Friday we were talking about buying the dip on that dump that happened, and some of you may have done. I just got a couple of examples. I said, look, whatever coin you buy, you know, there's a good chance of us seeing anything from a 10 to a 30% move, depending on the coin. I just got Ethereum up here anyway. So what are we looking at here? So today is Tuesday, Monday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday. So this is where we were dumping. This is where we did the stream last time. Let's just be super generous, measure it from here to here. So we're talking at 20% on Ethereum. This thing FXS, this is something someone wanted me to look at. Again, I didn't trade this. I try to only trade things I know. And that one did a 100% pump from the Patreon live stream. So exceeding expectations. Certainly exceeding expectations. But just pointing it out because it's sometimes valuable to sit there and a bunch of people look at a variety of different charts all together. They're things that I haven't ever seen or looked at or heard of, or you probably might not have looked at and seen or heard of. And then we do the analysis on it, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And again, this time around, worked out pretty bloody nicely. Sometimes I wish I hadn't just put 10% down into these alts. Should have put 15% down. Risk to reward, my friends. You know, in hindsight, I would have put 1,000,000% down, but obviously, you know, one of my main trading strategies is risk management. Right, so I am going to leave with you there. Let's sit back and enjoy what could be further upside on this chart right now while we wait for American markets to open. The dominance chart does look like it's continuing to go up here, so it's a Bitcoin-driven market, but as we've just already seen, it doesn't mean that you're not going to make money with altcoins. It's just that Bitcoin is the main mover here, so be prepared for that, especially if there's a sell-off. Your altcoins will get absolutely demolished, whereas Bitcoin will come down, but probably not to the same extent as the altcoins. Not yet, but as we move up higher into these areas, 47 to about 49, we're looking for an alt season. But generally speaking, things should be okay for altcoins, provided Bitcoin is okay. You will make money. You'll just make more money if you trade Bitcoin. And if you think that that's boring, just think about Bitcoin as a trading pair of its own right, like a forex pair. All right, you buy Bitcoin, you enjoy the gains on Bitcoin. There's a rotation. You rotate your Bitcoin into altcoins. You make the gains on altcoins. You do 100%. That means you turn one Bitcoin into 2 Bitcoins back to Bitcoin. Another rotation event, you turn 2 Bitcoins into 10 Bitcoins. That's how this market runs, really. That's the best way to play this market when it comes to spot trading. But yeah, I will leave it with you there. I don't want to ramble too much. But overall, long story short, we're looking to move it back into the 25,000s. Potential rejection there. A breakout from there really does go to a parabolic phase. Then we move up into the 30s, maybe even the higher 30s over the next couple of weeks. And it's all very much dependent on what the old men are going to say and what the CPI and PPI say. We're at the mercy of the Fed, really. We really are. But just like I said last week, Forex markets currently appear to be pricing in a 25 or maybe even a pause. And they were the telltale signs through the weekend that the Forex market was giving us signals and signs that the 50 basis points is off the table and something lower will be presented to us, maybe even a pause. Unlikely to be a lowering of rates, but that is still a possibility. Right, thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.